future with faith and vision. We're breaking every boundary, rising to our feet. With hope as our compass and truth as our song, we're marching to the rhythm where we know we belong.
Welcome to Leading from the Future TV broadcast. Listen, I'm your host, Dr. Pastor Prophet Anthony D. Shannon. I want to welcome you to this unique space where inspiration blends with revelation. Why? To empower you on your journey. Right here at Leading from the Future, we don't just keep you informed, but our goal is to help you get transformed. We want to transform your perspective, help you to dive into these riveting stories of individuals who triumphed over adversity. We want you to learn from those who persevered against all the odds. And then we want you to absorb the invaluable lessons on using your own voice to ignite change. You see, our show, Leading from the Future, isn't just only about stories, it's a call to action. Why? Because we believe everyone has a purpose, a unique calling that makes them indispensable to the world. And as you continue to connect with us, join with us on these pathways, we want you to uncover hidden potentials and inspire you to embrace your own destiny. Listen, we like to tell you as we move in the future, we always lean back to the past to see where we've come from. This is more than a show. It's a movement towards a purpose-driven life. You know what I always like to tell you? Find your purpose and start living your life. Well, I'm excited today because our guest, yes, indeed, she is a powerhouse, all right? Dr. Jane, I need you to understand that she is a 4-time award-winning weight loss coach specializing in nutrition. If you've ever struggled with weight, maybe you've been up and down in your diet. Guess what? She graduated from the Harvard School of Medicine's executive program in health and wellness and is an international best-selling author of Lose Weight Without the Weight. Don't you like that? How to create a body you love without exercise. She is also the Push weight loss method creator and the CEO and founder of Dream Body Enterprise. See, Jane is passionate about empowering women who feel stuck in bodies they don't love or recognize. She also helped them to lose weight and become their best versions. You know what I love about her? She thrives to enable women to create and live lives fulfilled with happiness, energy, and excitement. Jane helps women lose weight and help them keep it off while enjoying carbs without the need for exercise or drastic dieting. I know y'all want to know who she is. Jane believes that beauty is on the inside out job that begins with self-love, feeling good about oneself. Won't you please clap those hands and welcome to the stage of Leading from the Future, Dr. Jane Mukami. Let me tell you something. She is going to tell you what's happening right herself. Welcome. How you doing, Dr. Jane?
Thank you so much, Dr. Pastor Shannon. So good to be here.
Yes, indeed. You know, it was a long time coming. Met you at Let's and just knew, hey, I'm a fan. I said, this woman got it going on. She is amazing. And then she got on stage, told your story. I said, oh, yeah. We've got to get her in our community because there's so many people who struggle with that. You know, it's a $1 billion industry. That's a $1 billion industry, and it's growing every year. And yet people are spending millions of dollars. Oprah Winfrey herself had to come out and say, look, I got to cut ties with you, Weight Watchers. I thought this was it. But she went to this drug and said, hey, I got a new thing now. And said, you now wrote a book. But before we get into that, tell people who you are, right? And where you grew up and who's your parents and all that good stuff. You got any siblings?
Okay, thank you so much. So I am Dr. Jane Mukami. As you can tell, this name is not from around this parts, okay? I was born and raised in Nairobi, Kenya. That's home. I came to Atlanta, Georgia 25 years ago. And I came to the US to go to college. I was 20 years old. And
Wow.
yeah, so my upbringing growing up in Africa, growing up in Kenya is or was very different from what I experienced when I came to the US at 20, but it was very memorable. It built me into who I am today, and I'm happy and grateful to have the experience of having two homes. I have a home in the US and I have a home in Kenya.
Now, how many languages do you speak? Do you speak more than one language?
Yes, so I speak English. I speak Swahili, which is the national language, which means I want you to envision the US,
Okay.
each state speaking a different language that the other cannot understand.
Okay.
So to unify the country, there's Swahili, and Swahili is the national language, meaning if you're illiterate, if you did not go to school to learn English, you can still communicate with Swahili. And then
Oh,
on top of that, now comes the state language, the ethnic tribe language.
you said the ethnic tribe language.
Yes. So
That's a whole different dialect.
imagine if each state in the US had its own language. If I live in Georgia, if I live in Georgia, the people in DC cannot understand what people in Georgia say. Very similar,
Really?
but not quite.
I got it. I got it. I got it. All
Yeah.
right.
So Kenya has over 40 different tribes. And then
Mm.
we have Swahili. And then when you go to school, you learn English because we're a British colony.
So that means you're under the Queen.
Yes, we were colonized by the British, so our English is and way of life is very British.
Okay. All right. Got it. And how and what made you decide I'm coming over to the States?
I was 19 when my mother asked me, what I wanted to do. I was going to computer school. I was working in tech already in Kenya, but I needed to further my education. So I first tried Canada. The Canadians did not want me to go there, so they rejected my application.
Oh
And
wow.
then the next step was the US, and I landed in Atlanta specifically or Georgia because of the weather, mild winters.
You mean to tell me you don't like Michigan? Michigan got all the seasons, boy. You could have winter, snow up to your ankles, up into your
No,
knees. Come on, somebody.
no. The one day of snow at LET, the cold is miserable for me. I grew up in a tropical country. I had never seen snow until I got here, and it was 10 days after I came to the US. It snowed for days, and I could not understand that.
I forgot you were there. I remember we had all that snow. It was a blizzard.
Yes,
Unbelievable. You weren't ready for that, were you? You didn't have no coat and nothing.
I'm still not ready.
Right.
I'm still not ready.
Right. Now let's talk about once you got in school, you of course you came up to the States, went to school, and
Mhm.
then
Um,
do
I
you have
majored in
brothers?
I majored in computer information systems. So my career in technology started in my sophomore year when I started working for IBM.
Okay.
And I did that until I transitioned to coaching, which we'll talk about later. And I did have a sibling. My younger brother was 8 years younger than me, but he transitioned in 2017.
In 2017. Wow, my condolences. That's
Yes.
amazing. So how was it for you then being in the States away from your family?
It was not difficult. And the reason being that growing up in Kenya, I went to boarding school when I was 13.
Okay.
So I was always away from home. Boarding school in Kenya means that you have the first semester during January to April, and then you go home for 2 or 3 weeks. Then you have the second semester, you go home in August for 2 or 3 weeks. You have the third semester, and you go home for a month for the holidays. So out of a year, I was only home for 8 to 10 weeks for
Oh,
years.
for a
So
year. So you got used to it, understood it, you were good to go.
Yeah, so coming, I was not, I wasn't homesick because I'd already been away from home since between 13 and 18.
Wow. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you're tuning in, you're tuning in to Leading from the Future. I'm your host, Dr. Prophet Pastor Anthony Shannon. Listen, I want you to know, wait, we're going to be right back because there is more with Dr. Jane. Believe that. She's just getting started. We ain't got nowhere. All right, so we'll be right back. Introducing to you Leaders Live Generously Academy, a coaching program designed just for you with yours truly, Dr. Anthony D. Shannon. That's right. Listen, I want you to understand that Leaders Live Generously Academy is where ambition meets purpose and success is redefined. Imagine a place where you don't have to choose between making a meaningful impact and achieving financial prosperity, where your pursuit of success harmonizes perfectly with your values of family and faith. At our academy, we understand that true leadership is about living generously, leading with integrity, and creating a legacy that transcends financial achievements. Under the guidance and the coaching of Dr. Anthony D. Shannon, I am a renowned expert in leadership with over 30 years of experience. Listen, not only do we teach you leadership, we teach you personal development. You'll discover your unique purpose. Learn to maintain balance in all aspects of your life. And I want you to unlock strategies for wealth creation. Why don't you join me and let me help you transform your vision of success, lead with generosity, and live a life filled with purpose. I want you to start your journey today at Leaders Live Generously Academy. It's the coaching program designed for you. It's where we teach you to lead, to love, to give. It's transformative leadership because the best leaders are those who live generously. Come join the Academy, and your coaching program starts right now.
Hello, and thank you for tuning into Leading from the Future with Dr. Pastor Prophet Anthony D. Shannon. Well, we hope that you're enjoying the show, and we want to let you know that we are grateful for you. From captivating stories to insightful discussions, we value your presence in our community. Now, if you're finding value and joy in what we bring to your screen, we'd like to invite you to consider taking your support a step further. To ensure the continued success of our channel, we warmly invite you to contribute. We're seeking 10 generous individuals to donate $1,000 each, as well as 10 contributors with a gift of $526, and 10 supporters donating $224.24. Every donation, regardless of the amount, makes a significant impact. However, as a token of our gratitude, each contributor will receive a personalized prophetic word and an exclusive ebook. We have 3 simple ways for you to give, making it quick and easy for you to send your contributions. The first is Cash App. That's right, $Anthony D. Shannon. You can send your contribution directly to our amazing host. The second way is to download the VChurch app. Go ahead and download on the Google Play or your App Store and follow the prompts there. The third is Cash App, $the Victory Church INT. Again, we thank you for your contributions and your support of Leading from the Future with our amazing host, Dr. Pastor Prophet Anthony D. Shannon. Well, thank you for being an essential part of our journey. Your generosity truly fuels our passion. Now let's get back to the show because more exciting moments await us. Thank you for your continued support.
Now, those of you that are tuning in, I want to encourage you to listen. It's called The Speakers book, The Greatest Speakers, right? You might be a speaker yourself. Maybe you want to be inspired by other speakers. We want you to get this book, all right? This is the stories of the world's greatest speakers. Get your book copy today. There is 10 of the greatest speakers, all right, that will give you inspiration. They will talk to you. They will motivate you. And you want to get your book today. We are back with you, Dr. Jane. Now, Dr. Jane, you are talking about how you evolved out of Kenya and how you came to the States, and how that in Kenya there's different vocabularies that people speak. There's different languages, and each one of them have their own language. That is amazing, and you have to know it in order to understand it. And so you speak multiple languages, and you came over to the States. You were used to being away from home, so it made the transition a lot easier for you. And you started off in technology. Wow. And what then, after you got into technology, you made a transition out of technology, but you've been working in technology first, right? And so you've always been interested in technology. Is that correct? Or
technology is what I was encouraged to do when I got out of high school, because I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. So my mother urged me, this was back in the 97. She urged me to consider tech, because tech was going to be a big deal in the future. And since I wasn't sure what I wanted to be, I thought I wanted to be in hotel management. I thought I wanted to be a flight attendant. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. So she said, while you try and figure it out, go do this thing over here.
okay.
Yes.
Now, speeding up, how did you know you wanted to be a speaker? You're an author now as well, but you also now speak, right, on different stages. How did that come about from technology?
So my transition to coach, speaker, author was not a conscious decision. I feel like I got pushed into it, and I'm going to tell you how this happened. So after graduating from college, I had a good job, got married, and 2 years later, I filed for divorce because my ex-husband was physically abusive.
Oh, wow.
And during this time, while I was now officially divorced, instead of celebrating my newfound freedom, I was stress eating because I was only 27, 28 years old. I wasn't sure if the decision to file for a divorce was the right thing. I mean, I'm an African woman. African women never leave their men, And so I was very conflicted, and to cope with the emotions, the shame, the guilt, the confusion, I started to do what we all do. I turned to food. And in my case, it's always the sweet items, the cakes and the cookies. And one morning in 2008, I remember looking at myself in the mirror and I could not recognize myself. And I figured, I've been divorced. I've gained a lot of weight. I look worse single than I was married and unhappy. And that was the day I made a conscious decision to do something about my body and do something about the way I was feeling about myself. And it was that very same day that I started doing what I thought was my way to losing weight, which was going to the gym. And that experience lasted 2 years. I did what most people do. You exercise, you diet, you exercise again, you diet, you shelve it and decide you'll pick it up in a month or two. It was just, I was trying, but I wasn't making any progress. And 2010 is when I really got frustrated because I really wanted to feel different. I wanted to be a better person, but because my inside, my mental, my emotional was so shattered, I couldn't find myself. And I decided that I was going to have liposuction because I knew that if only I looked in the mirror and I loved what I saw, things would shift.
Wow.
Fortunately, I didn't proceed forward because I met a friend who asked me to pause, and instead she referred me to her coach, who in 5 months changed my life.
Wow. Well, I think that's so good because you hit on something that I think is very key. And the reason why is because I remember Oprah Winfrey always talked about being in the open public, dealing with her weight, up and down, all around. But she also said that people deal with pain differently. She chose eating. A lot of other people choose eating. And so I think that's a powerful moment because There's lots of people. Again, the weight loss industry is a $5 billion industry. It's hundreds of billions of dollars every year. They get more and more richer and richer, and people have success, don't have success, up and down. But yet you found something that works, and you talk about the inside and eat. Why do you think people eat? Is that to suppress the pain, or is it they don't know what to do?
That is such a good question. And it's funny, I wrote an entire post about that on social media today.
Wow.
Anytime that your body feels unsafe, and the word unsafe is not just physical, is when your emotions and your mental state are out of balance, when you're worrying, you're sad, you're grieving, you're mourning, when you're not at balance emotionally and mentally, your body responds or sees that being out of balance the same way it would see or respond to you being chased by a lion. Okay.
Wow.
So our bodies are programmed to keep us safe. If you see a lion, nobody needs to tell you, hey, Dr. Shannon, you need to go, you need to run. You don't need a red light, green light, right?
No.
You just run. Now, unfortunately, our bodies do not delineate between physical, mental, and emotional. All the body knows is something is wrong, respond. Now, the response with stress and emotions, unfortunately, is coping to make us feel better. Yeah.
I see.
So this is why people will reach for cake, a glass of wine, gambling. And when you're enjoying that food item that makes you feel, whew, it feels better, but the problem is still there, right?
Absolutely.
The problem has not disappeared because I'm eating cake, but for a moment, you feel as though you've escaped. You found peace. The body finds pleasure. And this is because in the brain, there's a trigger that's set where dopamine, which is known as the pleasure hormone, is released to make you feel, oh, I know I'm stressed. Life is upside down, but in this moment with this item, I feel safe. Okay. So
Mhm.
what happens is every time you're stressed, if you reach out to eat a cookie, if you reach for the wine, if you gamble, if you take drugs, your body now wants you to keep doing that for you to feel safe. You're chasing a dopamine high, and this is what gets people addicted to drugs, to alcohol, to food, because you constantly want to numb and forget the discomfort.
I see.
Okay, so it is biological. It's a biochemical response from the body, and I have patterns in my life. When my parents divorced when I was 13, that's when I started gaining weight because I was stress eating. When I
Okay.
lost my brother in 2017, I wrote about it today. I gained 15 pounds in 3 weeks
Wow. Okay.
because when I'm stressed, I just want to forget by eating.
I see.
So this is what's happening to us. Anytime we're stressed, we need a way out. And the way out is, for most of us, is eating or
Yes.
drink. Yes.
Mhm. Now, do you also feel that that messes with people's mind, that they have to change their mindset as well? Because you talked about beauty from the inside out, and that something has to shift right inside of them. So what kind of mindset does one need to make this transformation?
So when it comes to weight loss, and because I specialize in nutrition, food is very emotional. When we're happy, when we're at weddings, we're at parties, we're celebrating, we eat.
Yeah.
When we lose a loved one, when we're sad, we eat, right? Food is very emotional. So the mind shift that needs to happen, number one, is understanding that the way you eat, the way you do. I've had clients come to me and say, I've tried everything to stop eating or drinking this. I can't stop. The first mind shift is understanding is the things that you consistently eat that are not good for you. The reason you can't detach from them, you keep falling back on them is because you've formed a habit and programmed your body to always ask for them. The dopamine release we just talked about. If you eat a slice of cake every day at 3 p.m. after lunch, your body will keep asking for it every day at that time.
Really? Okay.
Our bodies are like the algorithm. Everybody knows what an algorithm is now with AI and stuff.
Yes.
What you put in, the algorithm learns, it programs and automates.
It programs and then automates.
So
That's
if I wake up every morning and all of a sudden I drink some water as soon as I wake up, every morning when I wake up, the body watches, it notices I've repeated the habit. The body loves to automate habits. Let me give you an example.
Yes.
If you wake up every morning at 6 a.m., Monday to Friday, do you not discover that on Sunday, when you can sleep in, your eyes automatically open?
Yes, indeed.
You don't need an alarm clock.
Right.
You actually, after a week, if maybe for some reason you got a new gig that requires you to go in at 4, the first few days you struggle, but after a week, your body automates it. You don't struggle anymore.
That is amazing. That is amazing.
Yes. So the mind shift is that whatever it is that you cannot detach from is because you've done it so many times and the algorithm has learned and automated it. So there's power in knowing that you can replace that habit, that bad food, with something else, and the learning will be the same.
Okay, so there's a system going on. We're going to pause right here, take a quick break. Listen, we'll be right back. I promise you, don't go nowhere. Dr. Jane Mukami is coming back with all of these great wisdom nuggets. I'm telling you, these are 24-karat bars indeed. Okay, we'll be right back.
Are you ready to embark on a journey of inspiration and empowerment? Introducing The Heart of a Black Man, inspiring stories of triumph and resilience. A captivating anthology that sheds light on the incredible stories of Black men who have faced adversity with unwavering strength. This anthology features a powerful voice among its authors, Dr. Pastor Prophet Anthony D. Shannon. His contribution adds a unique perspective, weaving a narrative of resilience, faith, and triumph that will leave you inspired and moved. The Heart of a Black Man is more than just a book. It's a beacon of hope, a celebration of perseverance, and a testament to the indomitable spirit within the hearts of Black men. Available now on Amazon for only $20 or Kindle for $9.99. The Heart of a Black Man is a powerful investment in knowledge, empathy, and inspiration. Reach out to us or order your copy today and join us in celebrating the resilience, triumphs, and the enduring spirit of Black men everywhere.
Are you looking to lose weight but are having a hard time
achieving your health and fitness goals?
Her lessons have helped change the lives of many.
How to lose weight without exercise.
Award-winning coach,
Award-winning
and best-selling author,
The Fit Kenyan Girl.
Jane Mukami.
Jane Mukami.
Welcome, Jane Mukami.
I was going through a divorce, went into depression. I started stress eating. Go to the gym to start 2 years of running, kickboxing, 2 years intense exercise. Man, I've done P90X, I've ran, I lost 4 pounds. It's one of the biggest mistakes a lot of women make. It's not the exercise, it's what I was eating. That's why they say abs are made in the kitchen. And in 6 months, I was a new person. So my book, Lose Weight Without the Weight, is a best-selling book, and in it I share with you the push weight loss method which I've created. P stands for purge the unhealthy foods or have them once in a while. U stands for upgrading the quality of nutrition, and then S is for structured eating, and H stands for hacking your metabolism. And what this means is Your food needs to change up so you don't hit a plateau.
Hello, and thank you for tuning into Leading from the Future with Dr. Pastor Prophet Anthony D. Shannon. Well, we hope that you're enjoying the show, and we want to let you know that we are grateful for you. From captivating stories to insightful discussions, we value your presence in our community. Now, if you're finding value and joy in what we bring to your screen, we'd like to invite you to consider taking your support a step further. To ensure the continued success of our channel, we warmly invite you to contribute. We're seeking 10 generous individuals to donate $1,000 each, as well as 10 contributors with a gift of $526, and 10 supporters donating $224.24. Every donation, regardless of the amount, makes a significant impact. However, as a token of our gratitude, each contributor will receive a personalized prophetic word and an exclusive ebook. We have 3 simple ways for you to give, making it quick and easy for you to send your contributions. The first is Cash App. That's right, $ Anthony D. Shannon. You can send your contribution directly to our amazing host. The second way is to download the VChurch app. Go ahead and download on the Google Play or your App Store and follow the prompts there. The third is Cash App, $ the Victory Church INT. Again, we thank you for your contributions and your support of Leading from the Future with our amazing host, Dr. Pastor Prophet Anthony D. Shannon. Well, thank you for being an essential part of our journey. Your generosity truly fuels our passion. Now let's get back to the show because more exciting moments await us. Thank you for your continued support.
Listen, everybody, I want you to understand that as we are on Leading from the Future, we want to always invite you to help with the broadcast, all right, so that it can continue to go to many, many networks like Apple TV, Hulu, Roku, right? We want to make sure that we're able to get these different platforms, HBO, and it's very important, right? Stars and BET Plus. We want to be able to put this show on that. And so we always invite you to be generous, right? Be kind. Say, listen, I feel led to sow a seed of $1,000, $500, $200, whatever it is that it places on your heart. All right. You could do that today. And I also want you to know that God always blesses you. And then guess what? Whatever good you do for other people, it'll always come back to you. And we're always wanting to help many, many people. And I think you also need to want to help other people. All right. And then we want to encourage you to get the book, Live Generously. Live Generously. I need you to get that book. Amen. It is one of the books I've written, and I'm passionate about teaching leaders how to lead, love, and give. Come on, somebody. Lead, love, and give. That's why we have this program, because you're listening today, right? That Dr. Jane is giving you and showing you what you can do to better your life, to help yourself, and to overcome. Get the book today. Live Generously. All right, listen, we are back with Leading from the Future. I'm your host, Dr. Anthony D. Shannon, and we are talking with our good friend, the one and only, I'm telling you, Dr. Jane Mukami. Let me tell you something. She's been dropping nuggets left and right, and I don't know who this is for, but I know it's for a lot of you, all right? You probably can identify with what she's saying. Matter of fact, you might even said it another way, but it's all the same. You know it to be true. So before we went for the break, Dr. Jane, you were talking about this mindset, the mindset change that one must take. But it was interesting that you talked about the body like to automate stuff. They create these habits that are formed that people just automatically do subconsciously. But you're saying they can break those habits. They can transform their thinking and replace it with something new so that they can be better. Now, here's the question I have. Is the food people eating, is it layered with chemicals and other things that make people want to come back to that particular food? Or
Absolutely.
those foods?
Yes. So we have a few things that are already working against us.
Okay.
I use the term the health and weight loss game is rigged against us. Like
You say
we
it's
are,
rigged. Wow.
it's rigged. We are meant to fail.
Okay.
If you think about it, we did not learn enough in school about nutrition, about
No, we
health.
didn't.
We
No.
didn't. And it's similar for finance. The things that can progress us, we didn't learn enough of. That is not coincidental, right?
I like that.
Okay.
Yes.
So when it comes to the food we're eating, before we even talk about the food, let's talk about the things we can't control. Can we control the air we're breathing in? Can we control pollution? Pollution. Can you wake up and say, today I am going to sniff 50% less pollution?
No.
Can control it.
No.
Can we control our water sources? Not really. You either buy bottled water, drink from the tap, or the filtered water in the refrigerator, or you buy the jug with the. We can't do anything more. Let's talk about toxins. Can we control the toxins in the air? Can we control maybe the toxins in makeup, lotions? Those we can make better choices. How about toxins in our clothes?
Wow.
There's so many things already working against us. And on top of that, the people who should be looking out for us, which would be the FDA or the bodies that should be watching the food,
They're not.
they're not concerned.
Mhm.
They're not concerned because there's more to be made in healthcare than there is in real healthcare.
Wow, that's a good word right there. Wow.
Right. So real healthcare and just healthcare are very separate. Real healthcare requires more money, more attention, less sick people. But we know big pharma makes money. The big industries, the food industries make money. So we are the people in the machine. We're the cogs.
Yeah, we're the cops.
We're the cogs.
Mhm.
So our food is being altered. Our food is being manipulated. Um, Organic food is expensive for a reason.
Mhm.
Our seeds are hybridized. They're GMO'd
Mhm.
for reasons that do not serve us individually. There's a scientist in the 60s or the 70s who came up with what's known as the bliss point. You can Google this. He was supposed to come up with the exact point at which a food becomes addictive.
Okay.
This is using sugar, using salt, making it crunchy. And once he discovered it, he was able to work with the top food industries to make sure that the foods that fill the supermarkets have been bliss pointed,
I see.
meaning I can't just have one cookie. I need to have the whole sleeve.
Mhm.
When I start eating it, I can't stop. And we haven't even talked about what's been sprayed on the plants, the commercialization of poultry, beef, the hormones being injected. By the time we're eating this food, it's been manipulated that it's not working for the body, or the body is not responding to it as it should, because it's not what it should have been 50 years ago, right?
Right.
Yeah. And another thing I like to let people know is that our physical body, the Homo sapien body, has not evolved in, I believe it's 200,000 years.
Wow.
Our body stopped evolving 200,000 years ago when we were walking. We only had a piece of steak when we killed the animal.
Right.
We went for months without food when there's drought and famine.
Mhm.
Think about your phone. Imagine if you have a smartphone, how many times do we get updates on the apps?
Right. Quite a bit.
Our body has not received an update from 2,000 years ago, but the food we've eaten has been changed so drastically, but we
Mm.
expect this hardware to process the food without a problem. Can you see the problem?
Absolutely. There's no question about it. It's stacked up against all of us. So,
The odds are against us.
yes. Now, this is amazing, and this is amazing revelation and information the way you're breaking it down. And so you then wrote this book, right? You wrote the book, Lose Weight Without the Weight. And when you say without the weight, what do you mean by without the weight? Are you saying the people that go through up and down and they're waiting, waiting, waiting? Or what do you mean by that when you say without the weight?
I mean, without the wait, meaning without waiting too long first.
Okay.
And I use that phrase because not to mean that I want you to lose weight drastically, and I don't want you to lose 30 pounds in 1 week.
Right,
But what
right.
I want you to learn that every time you open your mouth and eat, that spoonful or forkful is either poison or is either medicine.
Wow.
So every time you're eating, it's similar to every time you stop and gas up your car. Do you gas up your car every day, or do you gas up maybe once or twice a week when the gauge is low?
Yeah, I go when it's down. Fill it
Maybe
up.
halfway, it's a
Yeah,
little empty.
I keep
Now,
it full. Yeah,
we fill up our tank whenever we want to. It doesn't matter whether the gauge is full or not.
true that.
We eat whenever I feel like I want to eat, or if you've not eaten all day, you eat 2 platefuls, right?
Yes, indeed.
So every day when you eat, that's a cause, and that cause will come with a reaction. So when women work with me, I have a challenge starting Monday called the 7-day nutrition-based weight loss challenge. Within the first 2, 3 days, women feel better. They get more energy, they sleep better, the knees stop hurting, not because I've done magic, but because I'm making sure every time they open their mouth, they're feeding themselves or eating medicine,
Ah, I
not
see.
poison. So you don't start to feel better after losing 50 pounds. You start feeling better on day 2.
Wow, that's powerful. I know in your book you quote Hippocrates. He
Yes,
says, "Let food be thy medicine, and medicine be
medicine
thy
as
food."
food.
Yeah, and
Absolutely.
that's what you're teaching the people.
Yes, every single part of your body, your hair, your skin cells, your eyesight, everything in your body has been created by this little raw material called food. So if you want to have better skin, you want to have better hair, better nails, you want to be healthy, you need to manage the raw material. It's like putting that 87 in a Ferrari. We can do that.
Yeah,
So if you think
yeah,
about yourself as a premium luxury car, you pay attention and take care of what's going in it. So we need to leave the cheap gas and get the best raw material for the body so that in our 80s and 90s, we're not sick, we're not bedridden, we're not in wheelchairs, we're not forever on medication. And the first symptom that you're headed there is weight gain.
really.
Yes.
Wow, that's powerful. I mean, that is totally, totally amazing. And the what you're revealing in chapter 2 of your book, you said, "What's eating you? What's happening now?" And you talk about that people have to make changes, and if they don't do nothing, nothing's going to change. They're going to have to do something in order to make that change when they start seeing the weight gain, or it's just going to keep on gaining. Is that what I'm hearing?
That's what I'm saying, and I really, really emphasize you're gonna pay a price. The question is when. Do you want to pay the price now or pay it later?
That's good. That's good. That's very good. Let me ask you this before we go on another break. You've obviously have lost weight. You've made a lot of changes, a lot of transitions, and there's other people that do the same thing. What or would you be able to share maybe a biggest challenge you faced in your weight loss journey?
The biggest challenge I faced the 2 years when I was trying to figure it out by myself is something that you alluded to. You said that, the weight loss industry is $1 billion industry because there's so many solutions, there's so much noise that anybody who's trying to lose weight gets lost and confused. That's why people are hopping from diet to diet. Oh, I'm doing this month, next week I'm doing that. There's lack of information and a lot of misinformation. So my greatest challenge during those 2 years was, what is the right thing? I did 23 diets in 2 years.
23 diets.
And the best one that worked was when I lost 25 pounds from juicing for 1 month. All I could consume was vegetable and apples juiced. I would drink this juice religiously for 30 days and I lost 25 pounds. And I thought, oh my God, I did it. And then in one week, 1.5 weeks, I started slowly by gaining 5, 10. In about 3 weeks, I'd gained 30 pounds back.
Wow.
Because I didn't know. I just thought that as long as I do this thing and lose weight, as soon as it's gone, it won't come back.
Wow. I want to pause here and take a break. Isn't this so good? We're going to come back and pick right back up on here because this is so powerful to me, and I'm sure it's powerful to you. You're watching Leading from the Future. I'm your host, Dr. Pastor Anthony D. Shannon, and it is where we want to make sure we add value to your life. We'll be right back.
Elevate your mindset with Radiant Achievers, illuminating radiance and influence. An anthology curated by Dr. Jacqueline Mohair. Immerse yourself in stories that promise not just inspiration, but tangible takeaways from contributors like Dr. Pastor Prophet Anthony D. Shannon. Gain insights from individuals who've excelled in business and left a lasting impact in their communities. This anthology isn't just about success stories. It's a guide to wisdom and practical strategies for your own journey. Radiant Achievers brings together diverse voices, including the faith-filled perspective of Dr. Pastor Prophet Anthony D. Shannon, creating a powerful narrative of empowerment. Are you ready to transform your perspective? Order Radiant Achievers by reaching out to us or order your copy on Amazon now. Let the stories within, enriched by Dr. Shannon's insights, ignite your passion for business, community, and the actionable steps towards your own radiant success. Illuminate your path to greatness today.
I am Dr. Jane Mukami, and you're watching Leading from the Future with Dr. Prophet Anthony D. Shannon.
Hello, and thank you for tuning into Leading from the Future with Dr. Pastor Prophet Anthony D. Shannon. Well, we hope that you're enjoying the show, and we want to let you know that we are grateful for you. From captivating stories to insightful discussions, we value your presence in our community. Now, if you're finding value and joy in what we bring to your screen, we'd like to invite you to consider taking your support a step further. To ensure the continued success of our channel, we warmly invite you to contribute. We're seeking 10 generous individuals to donate $1,000 each, as well as 10 contributors with a gift of $526, and 10 supporters donating $224.24. Every donation, regardless of the amount, makes a significant impact. However, as a token of our gratitude, each contributor will receive a personalized prophetic word and an exclusive ebook. We have 3 simple ways for you to give, making it quick and easy for you to send your contributions. The first is Cash App. That's right, $ Anthony D. Shannon. You can send your contribution directly to our amazing host. The second way is to download the VChurch app. Go ahead and download on the Google Play or your App Store and follow the prompts there. The third is Cash App, $ the Victory Church INT. Again, we thank you for your contributions and your support of Leading from the Future with our amazing host, Dr. Pastor Prophet Anthony D. Shannon. Well, thank you for being an essential part of our journey. Your generosity truly fuels our passion. Now let's get back to the show because more exciting moments await us. Thank you for your continued support.
I want to encourage many of you that do not have a book for the Black man. It is important for us to show the Black man that all of them are not in jail. All of them are not going to hell. All of them are not useless. Let me tell you something. There is some powerful Black men. Now, I know there's men, period, but I'm specifically talking about Black men. And I want to encourage you to get this book, The Heart of a Black Man. This is where we show the examples of Black men overcoming, persevering, and becoming successful, being leaders, leading out in the community, leading out in spaces and places. And I want to encourage you to share it with your young men, that they too can become successful. They too can become bigger and better than where they are today. All right, you're back now with Leading from the Future. I'm your host, Dr. Pastor Anthony Shannon, and we have been having a wonderful conversation. Wonderful, wonderful revelation has been dropping 24 karat gold bars indeed. Okay, now before we went on this break, you were talking about the industry, you were talking about these things, you talked about the challenges you face. Talk to us now about in those 23 diets you failed, how other people are failing. What is different? What did you find out that you can teach people that in their first week with you, they're going to feel a difference?
Okay. What I learned was first, diets don't work. I also learned that exercise doesn't work either.
Wow.
Even though you're committed and you're active, you're running, you're working out at home, at the gym, you feel amazing. But if your nutrition is not dialed in, you cannot lose weight. And this is science. Your basal metabolic rate is what keeps you alive, and this burns 75% of calories. After that comes your digestion energy. It takes about 10% of calories or burns energy, which is 10%. And then comes movement. If I'm sitting here typing on my laptop, I'm washing dishes, I'm walking around, cleaning the house, just simple movement, getting my body to do stuff. That is known as NEAT. That takes up another 10%.
Oh,
and then
wow.
finally, 5% is exercise. If I exercise for 30 minutes, I burn about 300 to 350 calories.
So
But
are
if
you
I
saying then, Dr. Jane, that nutrition is that high on the chain that if people are eating correctly, that is how they lose weight, not necessarily running and running and running in the gym. It's the nutrition. Is that why bodybuilders have to eat certain specific meal plans and different things so that they can be at the optimum of building that muscle? That's amazing. How come no one knows this?
Absolutely. 95% of my clients do not exercise, but I've helped most of them lose anywhere from 10 pounds to 120 pounds.
Wow, that's huge, huge.
Without any exercise. It's not about the exercise, it's about understanding the body is already burning a lot of calories, and you can create a deficit or make the body tap into its stored fat if you feed it the right foods.
So, okay, explain then, because they talk about when people lose weight, they can lose their muscle. So explain the role of strength then, strength training in weight loss, especially for women.
Good point. So anytime somebody is trying to lose weight, their first concern is not strength. It's the weight coming off and fitting back in the clothes and getting energy.
I see.
If you're extremely overweight, like maybe if you need to lose 80 pounds or 70 pounds, Sometimes you might go and start exercising and you already have body aches that exercising is excruciatingly painful. So what happens is when women come to me for weight loss and they say, I don't want to exercise, I can't exercise, I'm okay with that because I know by the time they've lost 30, 40 pounds, they'll want to exercise.
I got you. Mm-hmm.
They'll want to exercise without being asked. So it's almost answering the question, Jane, I want to lose weight. What's the best way to do it? Where do I start? What do I do? Focus on mastering nutrition. The moment you start to see yourself in a different light and have the motivation, you will start to exercise because exercise does have its place. When it
Yes.
comes to cardiovascular health,
Mhm.
when it comes to building strength, as we get older, we're losing calcium, our bones are getting weaker. So to make sure that we're losing weight and we still want to be healthy as we age, we need to build more strength. When people ask me, I want to exercise, where do I start? Do I start running? No. Walk. If you don't want to walk, go to the gym and lift some weights to build strength. But there are levels.
Mhm.
Nutrition is the foundation, then you build upon the others.
I see. You know, in your chapter 5, you talk about that fuel for the fire. And you also quote Dr. Morgan, every time you eat or drink, you are either feeding disease or fighting it. And so people are either eating or they're poisoning, as you put it, right? So what should people be eating? Okay, let's say this before we go. What should people start doing? The first thing they need to start doing when as far as nutrition, because it's hard to go cold turkey. So do they just eat vegetables? Do they just eat apples? Or what
So
should they do?
what I like to say is the end goal is to make sure your body is getting that 93 good quality fuel. We talked about good raw material.
Mhm.
So think about, what do you eat every day that you already know is unhealthy? Do you eat a lot of bread, a lot of pasta? Do you eat a lot of fried food, a lot of junk food? Can you start by cutting it down by 50%?
Ah,
Your body responds properly and ideally to foods that are not processed, something that comes directly from its source. So instead of having bread, which might come from wheat, which was processed to create the flour, can you have something more wholesome like a sweet potato or a potato that just came from the ground? It did not go through processing. It's whole. Okay. So what are the things that you're consuming that are not, you cannot identify its first source on your plate? A chicken came from the farm or wherever it was raised. It's chicken, right? So think about trying to eat foods that are natural. In my case, because I'm African, I tell my African women, think about how our grandmothers used to eat. They lived on a farm, they grew everything they ate.
true, true.
That's what we need to be doing. We need to stop buying things and consuming a lot of foods in boxes, in tins. Just consume whole natural food. That's what the body that has not evolved for 200,000 years, that's what it needs.
Wow, that is so powerful. Let me just get one last question here. What role then, people talk about you got to drink 8 ounces of water a day and hydrate all day, get all of the liquids, so what role does that play? Sleep play? Because they tell me you got to get 8 hours of sleep at least, drink 8 hours at least. And, if you exercise, you're doing stuff. I'm like, man, how are you supposed to, what
a lot.
role does that play in maintaining weight loss or healthy?
So the body is a closed system. It's a closed loop. Something here affects the other there. So sleep is a good one. Sleeping 8 hours is ideal. Do most of us get 8 hours? No. How about the people who work graveyard shifts? One day they're up all night working, they sleep during the day, then a few days they're working during the day.
Right.
Their sleep is all over the place. They'll never have the right amount of sleep. And I work a lot with those type of women too. Sleep as much as you can. When it comes to water, it's not about 8 glasses. It's based off your weight. So take your weight and divide it by 2. So I'm 120 pounds. I need to drink 60 ounces of water.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Divided by 2. That's the amount based on your weight. The body is primarily 70 something percent made of water. So when you don't drink water, and when I say water, I mean plain water, not soda, not lattes, just water. When you're not drinking enough water, you get more cravings, you feel more hungry.
I see.
And when you feel hungry, your satiation hormone also is not active. So when you eat, you're not feeling full. And that could be stopped by simply hydrating.
Okay.
So every little piece might not be perfect, but if you have the nutrition right, it trumps a lot of the other things.
Wow, wow, wow. Wasn't this so good, y'all? Dr. Jane Mukami just broke it down, dropping all of those 24 karat gold bars. It's amazing. So tell the people, how should they get in touch with you? What is your social media site? Right? Let's get all of that there so we can get this going and get people tapped in, because surely I know many people struggle and they probably tried thousands of diets, but yet you can help them with results, and it's proof you've done it. You know, you've got a book on it, you're coaching people on it. So tell people how to get in touch with you.
So the easiest way to get in touch with me is simply check me out on Google. If you enter my name, Jane Mukami, you're going to find me on Instagram, on Facebook, on LinkedIn. You'll find my website. And any of those places, you'll be able to see what I have going on at the particular time when you find me. Right now, I am kicking off a 7-day challenge that's starting next week. If you go to any of my any of my platforms, you'll find free resources as well. So find me, connect with me. My email is jane@janemukami.com. I'd love to hear from you and see how I can help you in your health journey.
Wow, wow, wow. You heard it from her. Oh, yes, indeed. I'm telling you, this is going to be exciting because we're going to be able to add value to you all around the world. And it's going to help you because you're going to finally find something and someone to help expedite you, help you move in an accelerated manner with results so that you don't continue to add to the billions of dollars of that industry, okay? And we want to see you live your best life because you can fuel yourself to health. Isn't that amazing? Well, listen, this is Dr. Pastor Anthony D. Shannon with Leading from the Future, and I want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in and constantly supporting us. Listen, we want to encourage you to continue to follow us at Anthony D. Shannon on Facebook, Anthony D. Shannon, Instagram. You know, we say we're the prophet you can trust because if we prophesy to you, something good is always going to come out of it. God will authenticate it because we want you to be awakened. We want you to know. Did you hear what Dr. Jane said? That these systems that are in place is us. They're not trying to help us win. They are designed to make us lose, but we're going to have to fight to win. And as she said, you're going to have to do something. You got to make a change. You don't have to make a drastic change, meaning go cold turkey, but you can cut out, as she puts, 25%, 50% of whatever. You're doing all sodas, cut them sodas down to 50%, then cut them down to 20%, then add water each time you cut one. Yeah, it's just something you can do. And then, by all means, get a coach. All right? 2 is better than 1. When you fall, you need somebody to encourage you. You need somebody to hold you accountable. And we want to encourage you to do it. I also want you, those of you that need to learn leadership principles, right? You want to connect with us at Leaders Live Generously Academy. You want to join up with a community of people like-minded that will be able to talk to you, encourage you, lift you up, and be a catalyst for you so that you can move in your leadership. And you don't have to lose, right? While doing leadership in business, you don't have to lose your faith. You don't have to go one or the other. You can have both and, all right? And you can look good doing it, all right? Hallelujah. All right, then, listen. We want you to continue to keep up with us. Continue to email us and continue to support us. And remember, we invite 10 of you to sow a seed of $1,000 to help us, $500, $250, so that you can help this broadcast continue to go forward. And until next time, as I always say, life without purpose is like living life not at all. Find your purpose so you can live your best life. We'll see you next time. Peace.
Thank you for joining us on another incredible episode of Leading from the Future with Dr. Pastor Prophet Anthony D. Shannon. We've had an amazing journey exploring visionary leadership and inspiring insights. If you're passionate about sharing your story and ideas on our show, we'd love to have you as a guest. Simply reach out to us via email at thevictorychurchint@gmail.com. To ensure the continued success of our channel, we invite you to support us by contributing. We're seeking 10 generous individuals to donate $1,000 each. You can contribute through 3 convenient ways. The first is Cash App. That's right, $ Anthony D. Shannon. Or $ The Victory Church INT. You can also download the VChurch app. Search for us on the Google Play Store or the Apple Store. Follow the prompts and make your contribution. Whether you contribute $1,000 or any amount, every donation makes a difference. Go ahead and support us today. For more information and to stay connected, please visit leaderslivegenerously.com. We appreciate your support in advancing our mission. Well, thank you for being a part of this incredible community. Join us again next time as we lead from the future with Dr. Pastor Prophet Anthony D. Shannon.